Found myself in the hospital with metastasized breast cancer fluid, had an emergency surgery, and then I found myself that the lesions went to my lungs, and then they went to my head in April of 2020, found myself again in the hospital. Doctor said, better call your son home from the military because you're probably not going to make it. And that was a year and a half ago.
All right. Hello, everybody. Here we are today with friend Cindy, and Cindy has some amazing information to share. And, you know, I tell everybody about the Valasta Astaxanthin, from everything from arthritis to cancer and everything in between. This is just a tremendous product, but more important is just the raw food diet and getting back to eating the way we were designed to eat, which so many people don't know of. So many people contact me and they just don't know where to begin because we're not taught this in the world today. And only when they get a diagnosis by a doctor do they end up looking more into it. Well, today we have Cindy on the show. Hello, Cindy. How are you?
Hi, Paul. Hi, everybody.
Cindy, thank you so much for joining us. I want to get right into it. Tell us your healing story. I know it's an ongoing process and you're continuing to do so. So tell us what happened. You contact me, but what happened prior to that and what's going on now?
Okay. Back in 2017, found a lump, went in, followed the doctors, double mastectomy, blah, blah, blah. Cancer spread, even though I was told a 1% chance that I would get it again. Within 6 months, it came back to my left side of my chest. Found an amazing man up here where I live, wonderful doctor, caring doctor who listened and told me I should start a plant-based diet, which I had toyed around with for years, but never really fully committed because I was Wonder Woman and I would never get sick. But with cancer, it changes things, and found myself in the hospital with metastasized breast cancer fluid, had an emergency surgery. They said chemo, so I followed what they told me, did the chemo, didn't get sick from it because I was eating smoothies, green smoothies. Did well with that, and then I found myself that the lesions went to my lungs, was able to get rid of that, and then they went to my head in April of 2020, found myself again in the hospital. Doctor said, better call your son home from the military because you're probably not going to make it. And that was a year and a half ago. And then this past June 15th of 2021, I was told there was nothing more they could do for me, that I could enroll in a trial study, which was not happening. And they wished me the best. And at that point, I had contacted Paul about right around that time about Astaxanthin. And he suggested that as well as a raw diet, which I then contacted someone else that Paul put me in contact with, who suggested hyperbaric treatments as well as the Astaxanthin, as well as eating an all raw diet. So I committed July 19th. They told me at the hospital that, well, girl, it's, hang in there, sick as a dog. And at that point, did what the gentleman had suggested for me to do. And my cancer markers have dropped down to normal range. Normal in my type of cancer, high is a 38.8 range. Mine dropped down to 37.7, then dropped down to 33 in September. Did shoot up to like a 41 right after that. And I didn't give up. Continued to do what the gentleman had suggested for me to do. And obviously I'm a researcher, so kept on going, research, and my tumor marker 2 weeks ago was 36.9. This is with no chemo treatments. I tried radiation once, won't do that again. And needless to say, God's been very good to me. All I can say is I wake up every day, Lord, how can I help? What can I do? Don't mean to get emotional here, but it has been probably the best journey I've ever been on. Physically, not so happy about some of the journey, but emotionally, it's been good. And go ahead, sir.
Now,
Go ahead.
Oh, what were you going to say? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And all I can say is I juice every day, a half a gallon of juice a day. It is worth the time and investment to do it. I do HBOT, Valasta every day without fail. My headaches have gone away. Um, my will to live is beyond bouncing off the wall. It's not that I'm not afraid to die. I want to live because God's not done with me. And I'll tell you, I feel the best that I have felt in 4 years.
So, did you say when you first got diagnosed with breast cancer that you did do the chemo? Did you say that back then?
I did chemo May 10th, 2019 through October of 19, actually through 2020, April. And then they stopped, or then they were going to stop, but then they found the lesions in my head. And at that time, I'm like, well, what do we do, guys? Then they radiated me October 27th, 2020, which if I would have known now, if I would have known then what I know now, I would have allowed that to happen to myself.
So not
Because it
only,
just about killed me.
yeah, so not only did the chemo not, I mean, even it might have showed short-term results, not only did it not work, it actually made the situation possibly worse.
It made the situation worse because what happens with chemo, from what I understand, is it doesn't kill the stem cells. It kills the daughter cells, but it really ticks the stem cells off. And when it ticks the stem cells off, what happens is your body starts to rebel. And you have to understand that from what my oncologist told me was that a cancer cell, you have to look at it as a living thing that wants to gain immortality. It wants to live. It will do whatever it can. It will hide. It will give you false positives. It will tell you that it's gone away. Oh no, it's just sleeping, figuring out a way to come back. So you have to change the terrain in which it lives. So therefore, if your body went downhill a little bit in order to let you get the cancer, you can change that terrain. You get as healthy as you can. You juice, you only eat organic vegetables, and it's not that expensive. Because figure if you're eating an orange that is an orange that's just conventionally grown, it'll take you 3 or 4 of those oranges to get the same vitamin content that you do in one organic orange.
And since you spoke to me and you got the Astaxanthin, Valasta Astaxanthin, you've been doing it pretty much every day since you've gotten it.
Every day. And my arthritis in my big left toe went away. My hands don't hurt anymore. I scrub floors like I used to. I scrub the bathtub like I used to because my hands don't hurt. My head doesn't hurt. It's been a good ride. It's been a good ride. Yeah, I should have found this years ago.
I do want to tell everybody there's different types of astaxanthin, but the one by Velaster, this is the one I recommend because it's 88% absorbable versus the other cheap ones out there. They're not the same thing. They're only 8% absorbable. They're not the same astaxanthin. That's Velaster is the product. And I'll put the link below the video if you're interested in that. Now, let me ask you, Cindy, when they told you that the doctors, there's nothing else they can do for you, did they give you they said, told your son to come home? Did they give you a certain amount of time or a time limit, or did they just?
Unbeknown to me, they had told my son 3 months. When I talked to my oncologist at that time, I said, you've got to give me at least 5 years. I've got a new grandbaby coming around, and it's my youngest daughter, who's going to be mom, and she needs her mom. And he says, I can't promise you that. And I said, can you give me a year? And he says, well, we'll talk about it. But that was with his conventional treatment. And at that time, I was like, well, I've had enough of this. And that's when I started digging, and I found you. And you were able to give me resources and things like that. I've researched probably at least over 1,200 hours on my own, and come in contact with other people in my situation who should have been dead. We're not dead. We're far from dead. And when I go in to see my oncologist, I go every 3 weeks. He sits there since July, my July visit, and he says, you tell me what you do. And I tell him everything. This is what I take. This is what I do. I'm exercising again. And he just sits there in amazement. And he says, I don't have anybody that has done what you do. And I look at him and I say, well, first off, thank God that here I am. And I said, if it wasn't for my faith in God, I probably would not be here in this capacity. And I said, but you have to understand, I call him Leo. And I said, you have to understand, Leo, that there are other ways to deal with this. And whether you use a hybrid thing, like with the chemo, and do organics and stuff like that, I said, fine and good. I said, but the thing is, your body can heal itself. You just give it the right tools and it can heal itself. He was taking Astaxanthin, but he doesn't take the liquid one like we do. He was taking some pill, and I said, that's not going to work. I said, it's been heated, it's been, adulterated
Exactly.
and everything. This is the stuff that I take. And he listens to me, and he's in amazement every time he sees you. He goes, you're 62? And I said, yeah. And he says, you don't look 62. And I said, it's because I do what God intended me to do.
Hallelujah. Now, Cindy, I know you're doing a combination of things and you keep researching and you're looking at different resources, but if somebody's in your situation where they've been diagnosed, how much would you recommend them get this Valasta Astaxanthin?
My last order cost me, I got 3 double batches because I was concerned that with the supply chain situation that I would not be able to get it. So I ordered 3, and my husband told me to order more than that, but I'm frugal with money. And I'll be placing another order because I don't want to be without it. I mean, that stuff has, and I've been down all the supplement routes you can imagine. I was taking 52 pills twice a day. No, I'm down to 4 pills and my Astaxanthin, and I feel good. I mean, I cannot argue. I wake up every day happy to be awake, not dreading, okay, I'm going to go sit on the couch all afternoon. Because that's the way I lived for 5 months. It was not a good thing. It was not a good thing. But if people would just realize that there is hope out there, first, faith, second, eat like God intended us to eat. He said, they're herbs of the field. I feel so much better eating this way, and I was a metasaurus. I crave meat once in a while. I'll have deer meat maybe twice a year, but no, this has helped me immensely. I can't say enough about the product. I really can't.
Well,
I won't go without.
I know when people are in this situation, a lot of people tell them things to do and it's get overwhelming. And I want everyone to know that this stuff works. And I know you hear that from a lot of people, but that's why I wanted to have Cindy on. She could tell you for herself. And put the link below the video to get this. But also I do coaching and consultations. Contact me because many of the resources I provided Cindy with, I want people to do the research as well. And I don't just want to tell you what to do. I want to teach you to teach yourself how to do it and research it. So if you contact me and schedule a call with me, I can give you all that information. And Cindy, thank you for taking the time to come on here and sharing your story. And your energy is amazing. And I'm so excited about your story, but I'm not surprised because I knew if you remained in there, especially when it went up and then it came back down, a lot of people would get discouraged and just run to the doctor's way of doing things, but you didn't. You trusted the process, you trusted our creator, and you're doing great. And I know you're going to continue to do great.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, Paul. You've always taken my phone calls when I've had questions, and we have a bond. It's been an awesome journey for me. I'm sorry that my body went through what it went through, but emotionally, I have grown so much. I'm not going to take it back and say I wish it didn't happen, but it's been a good journey.
Yes, wonderful. My heart goes out to you. You're going to continue to be in my prayers, and everyone else, thank you for watching this, and please highly consider this because I want people to get well. and and I know this will do it, and this helps. And there's no panaceas out there. There's a lot of other things, but there's no one answer for everything. But we know the best. You put your body in a position, the best way it can to fight what's going on. And I do believe it's by through your faith, through your diet, and then just wonderful products like this. And that's, it's not as complicated. It's harder emotionally than it is physically.
You can try different things. I did Essiac, I did fenbendazole, I did black salve, I did all that stuff. For my particular type of cancer, that didn't work. But once I switched to eating the right way, and thanking God for my situation, even though I didn't want to be there, and taking the astaxanthin, it's been amazing. That's all I can say. It's just been amazing.
Well, wonderful. Cindy, thank you again for joining us and sharing this information. And everybody else, please contact me. And again, if you want to get the Valasta astaxanthin, the link is below the video. So thank you, everybody. And I know if you've been diagnosed, it's not easy, but stay faithful, and thank you. Thank you, Cindy.
I'll see you.
You can order the astaxanthin that Cindy and I spoke about in this video at the link below the video, or go to rawlife.com.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.